I'm going to talk about using martial arts to help heal men from trauma and why I think it's an important modality. As far as I'm concerned, every man out here is a warrior. I don't care if you're an accountant. I don't care if you're a school teacher. I don't care if you're a custodian, a lawyer, a doctor. We're all warriors because we all go out in the world and have to fight for what we want, for what we believe in, for what we need. And it goes for every human being, women also. But there's expectations for us out here. We have to be upright. We have to take things on the chin. Sometimes we're in a position to where we have to bury our own emotions and our own needs in order to proceed. There's repercussions to that. We're living in an age now that we know that. Many of us grew up in a time where not only was that known, but even if it was, would it really matter? So whatever martial art that you may be attracted to, even if you don't have an athletic bone in your body, and even if you are a non-confrontational type, I would say especially if you're a non-confrontational type, this may be a modality that you need to engage in order to find that warrior that's inside you. Many of us were put in positions that we weren't able to defend ourselves. We weren't big enough, we weren't strong enough, we weren't old enough, we didn't have enough of a voice to do that. Defend ourselves physically, even vocally, let alone physically. So some of my clients that I guide through their trauma, I always find a way to interject that into the program. And I encourage it. I encourage the exercising of simulated violence in a controlled atmosphere. I know. It may go against what they're trying to tell you as far as what you should be. Maybe it's toxic in the eyes of some. I don't think we need to put any stock in that. There's something healing and cathartic about knowing that you can defend yourself. I train in jiu-jitsu, some boxing, more jiu-jitsu now. I don't want to get punched in the head. There's something about the jiu-jitsu that forces you to be analytical as well as forceful in your defense. Ironically, the most effective jiu-jitsu is when you're gotten to a point to where you don't have to be so forceful to assert yourself. You can see why. You can make this connection as to why this might be good for you. And as I said before, I think this is especially good for the people who don't recognize themselves as being confrontational. Because whether we like it or not, we're in an environment, in a culture, in a society where we have to learn how to deal with confrontation or it's going to deal with us. That's why I like to simulate it. And sometimes you don't have to win. You can tap out. But just knowing that you showed yourself an aspect of yourself that needed to be shown. Sometimes healing could be so practical. Sometimes it's not super analytical. And sometimes it is. Sometimes we have to analyze things and Sigmund Freud ourselves to death. I think that's important too. But learning how to assert yourself in a physical manner, it's so rewarding. Just for the sweat factor alone and the calming of your nervous system. And another aspect of it is the camaraderie that's built with other men who think like you and have the same interests. Quick story, when I first started jiu-jitsu, there was a guy there who was probably the most unathletic out of everybody. And he just couldn't really grasp it. He was not good at it. But this guy came every day and tapped out 100 times a day to people who were doing it. If he was there for 5 years, people were doing it for a month would come in and handle him. But the respect that this guy earned from everybody, you could see over time, it really didn't even matter to him, even after a certain point, that these things, that he was getting handled, because he'd fight like hell. He would fight like hell. And eventually he went on and on and on and on, and come on. We had to look at him with some reverence. There was no quitting him. And now that I know a little bit about life, I know why he was there. It's for the exact reasons why I'm saying it now. I know he had his issues. I know his tears mixed with his sweat. And I always respected him. Everybody did. More so than the guys who were super athletic and strong and flexible and explosive. Some guys went in there and went belly up real fast when times got tough. You see the parallel? It's not rocket science. You can see the parallel. So I would encourage anybody, whether you become a client of mine or not, I would encourage you to go in that direction. The friends and the conversation, just the distraction alone, the endorphin rush, the analytical aspect of it, to look at the moves and break them down and put them piece them together, component by component, is something as men that I think we are used to problem solving. And martial arts gives you a real-time opportunity to problem solve. And problem solving while you're trying to survive is even more rewarding when you're successful. You get in a good gym and people respect you. You don't have to kill yourself. And if you're older, you be easy on your body. You don't have to spar hard all the time or go with the young guns all the time. But God, we need this. The world is I don't want to say it's a hard place. It's strange. Things happen. Wouldn't it be nice to know that you'll finally be able to take care of yourself if you were in a situation? It permeates every aspect of your being, I promise you. It's done it for me. It's done it for everybody. We go there. We don't talk about work. We don't talk about money. We laugh. We sweat. And we go home and we do it again. It's important. I know it's important to me. Sometimes I wish I would have known as a younger man the other benefits of it rather than just competing and winning. That really doesn't make a difference. It's just showing up. Again, you can see the parallels. You can see it. I know you can. I would encourage you to start immediately and enjoy it. Enjoy being that warrior that we were. At one point in time, all of us were. It was expected of us. Putting that war paint on our face. Swinging the axe. We're not out here trying to hurt anybody. Trying to help. Trying to protect. How can we protect if we can't protect ourselves? So, it's the little words have been running through my mind, and I'll tell you that out of all the methods, when I encourage my clients to take that step and join and get involved, there's a visible difference in who they are. Something you can rely on. I hope this helped.